I just wanted to thank you again for having me along. I'm honored to work with someone of your expertise. The archaeological pursuits of the Sith and Empire have been separate for too long. It is our common history. We have a shared duty to unearth it.
Sith rarely seek knowledge for its own sake. Your purity is refreshing.
I wouldn't consider myself purer than anyone else in my line of work. I'm honored to do what I do. From the depths of the ground, history calls us to save it from obscurity. I do my best to answer that call. I can tell you do the same. You remind me of my old mentor, Orsilio Gam.
He was the one who discovered something about Naga Sadow's secret apprentice?
Advanced archaeology 100 years. No detail ever escaped him. But what am I doing talking when there's work to be done? As we say in the service, the dead aren't getting any younger. So, explain this to me. The tomb of Naga Sadow on Korriban was built by Tulak Hord before Naga Sadow was even born? And that's where you found the Deshard Shadow Killer? And when your master tried to steal your body, you used the artifacts of Tulak Hord to put her being into this Deshard?
You forgot the part where I received aid from my long-dead ancestor, who was murdered by Tulak Hord.
Kalik. He was one of the most powerful Sith Lords of his time. Perhaps the most powerful. And an alien, too. To think how the Empire might have been different if he had killed Tulak Hord and not the other way around. Darth Zash and I have been talking. Well, when she's around. I would love to speak more with Khem, but I don't think he likes me.
He only eats Force users.
Yes, I'd read much about his species, but never seen one in person. Still, when he gets that hungry glint in his eye... I understand you inherited quite the archive from Zash. I would love to see it sometime.
I would love to show it to you.
Excellent. The quest for knowledge is eternal. If you don't mind my asking, how is it you became Sith, my lord? The process is completely foreign to me. I had a brother who was Force-sensitive. Darth Maul came and took him to Korriban, but we didn't hear from him again after that. Ungrateful little rat thinks he's too good for us now, my father said. But really, I think he just missed him.
If I ever run into your brother, I'll let you know.
Oh, it's all right. We didn't really get along anyway. He was always faster and stronger, and he usually had a stick in his hand. Father always wanted one son in the Sith and one in the military. Admittedly, the Imperial Reclamation Service wasn't his first choice, but after all the cursing stopped, I think he warmed up to the idea.
What did your father have against the Imperial Reclamation Service?
The Drillicks are a proud family line, and my father is simply the proudest of the lot. The Imperial Reclamation Service shores up the Empire's foundations against the flood of forgetfulness and misinformation that threatens our history. I'd like to see a fighter pilot establish the lineage of a 3,000-year-old Sith Lord with nothing but rocks and a dead language.
I have always believed that knowledge will ultimately win out over the lightsaber and the blaster.
Thank you, my lord. It is my honor to serve. You'll never believe what I found. I thought I'd left this behind planets ago.
Is it some kind of artifact?
This is the tooth of a 4,000-year-old proto-rancor. But look, see this? It's some kind of metal. Not cortosis, but very similar. This rancor was tamed. It was my very first discovery. I carry it with me everywhere for luck. I thought I'd lost it when I fell into an old tomb a couple of digs ago. It turned out it was caught in the lining of my pocket.
So how did you go from discovering evidence of domesticated rancors to digging up Sith Lords?
I know. Night and day, aren't they? That was Orsilio Gam's doing. He was sort of my mentor. I've been digging up Sith artifacts ever since. Speaking of which, I have some new findings to analyze, if you'll excuse me. My lord, remember I told you about my mentor, Orsilio Gam? He took me under his wing after I discovered the domesticated Rancor tooth. I was polishing the Rancor tooth and placing it among my things when I noticed a medallion he gave me last time we met. I decided to call him, but none of his frequencies work anymore.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
It was before I went to Hoth. We met at a cantina on Nar Shaddaa for a little light archaeological talk. He said he was on his way to Malachor III. That's when he gave me the medallion. It's the last I saw of him.
Did he act strange at the time?
Not really. Maybe a little at the end. I just thought he'd had too much to drink. He did love to imbibe.
Does the medallion have anything written on it?
No, just old runes. Most of it nonsense. I'm sure it's nothing. You can't keep an Imperial Reclamation Service man down. I guess I'll keep an ear and an eye out. I'll let you know if I discover anything. My lord, I've solved it. I've figured it out. I don't understand how I could have missed it. The outer layer of the medallion responds to heat. It melted away and revealed this. It's a heat-resistant casing, with a data chip inside.
I'm beginning to believe your claims that your mentor was a genius.
He was certainly one of a kind. The chip said he was looking for the tomb of Via Santinus. He said he was going to Malachor III, but everyone knows the tomb is on Alderaan. I believe Orsilio Gan went to Alderaan. I'm going to find him.
Did you have any luck finding your mentor?
No, my lord. I'm afraid the trip was all for nothing. Orsilio Gan was already gone, and nobody could tell me where. He was definitely in the tomb of Via Santinus. His workmanship was all over the site. But he left no clue that I could find.
I'm sure he'll turn up somewhere.
Don't you worry. I've not given up hope. Detective work such as this isn't much different from archaeology, after all. It's all about observation and deduction, and Orsilio Gan taught me well. Oh, I almost forgot. I found this in the tomb of Via Santinus. I thought you might find it handy.
I do love presents.
Via Santinus was a meticulous record keeper. These are the genealogies of all the great Sith Lords of his day. Look, here is your ancestor, Lord Calig. Bloodlines are very important in the Empire, my lord. Not to mention the historical value.
Ungasaiv nono, jappe siglos fraudnos jus, jappe raika jappe.
Is this another one of your nightmares?
Jalaika jaan bar. In pamalhap fralat forte fuima, alaisos kaskaf tais. Ababarna habens, glaubena, ni in usakwai, usiterens apipao.
I helped you defeat Veshik Urk. I'll help you find Tulak Hord's bones.
My tais is.
Entering Storehouse 0026. Antiquities, Tulak Hord era.
Patay kuibanist. Ni fragais fraujan. Kup painana. Hausaip, sai uran sa sayans, du sayan fraua.
This is too much of a coincidence.
Panasips swe quiquai in baba, fervao urerip.
Note to self. If my apprentice's Deshad fails to submit after the transfer, the bones of Tulak Hord could prove a useful bargaining chip.
Taupanais and niman.
I promise. I won't let Zash get away with this.
Swaiwai silbans in iswish, paman ik alkas jam, quidis intis isvares. Ja us de ans alfrast no job, diabulus afstop fara. Anso wilok pardos, Zogi inagangan disat faur ises.
Whatever you do, you can't let Zash take control.
Elion dandans atin se lapto. Iswis dudalay lotais wahaisen. Anso wilok bardos. Zogi inagangan disat faur ises.
It's no matter to me either way.
Haibaidar gaskir. Afwad ni.
Ah, that's better. I can think so much more clearly now. Thank you.
He was starting to get on my nerves.
It's my pleasure to help. This is my storehouse. You may have anything here you want. Now, let's go back to the ship, shall we? I don't know how long Khem will be weakened, and I have lots of reading to catch up on. Please order your monster to settle down. His raging makes it impossible to get any reading done.
In piso se waitai spila presin kretai. In pise e wanata atragata injais. Godais akran bayradans jawan jandans in pan guidis.
You were the one who couldn't just leave Tulak Hord's bones alone.
This fool will never accept responsibility as long as there's someone else to blame. I really am quite grateful. You've no idea how much easier it's been to think since the storehouse. And I have to say, I'm growing used to this body. It has its limitations, certainly, but such strength.
Don't get too settled. Khem won't like it.
He doesn't have much of a choice, does he? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get some research in while the monster's at bay.
Hausaip, sai uren sa sayans, du sayan fraua.
Thank you, Khem. I'm honored.
Paulos jasilbanas ja taimar paus, aikles John, laune kai in kuda aitin.
Yes, thank you, apprentice. This body has some remarkable abilities. I'm beginning to rather enjoy it.
For the last time, I'm not your apprentice.
Not now, no. But you can't suppress the order of things.
Jawais from Bamataga, I house the dedum, ni vleladum. Patai guibanist, ni fragais fraujan, kupainana. I gagay papa fraujins ala pataik galakai in alama.
She is tormenting you, making you too paranoid to rest.
Unswekon pose warpai nupai insats jains once jan. Ungas I've nono, jape siglos fraudnos jus, jape raika jape.
Let me talk to her. Perhaps I can learn something.
Wire paba, fraujins in alama patai galakai, in alama amainai.
I thought he'd never relent. He's been unusually stubborn lately. I can barely get a word in edgewise.
He thinks you're plotting against him.
He's no fool, I'll give him credit for that. It's clear the two of us can't share this body for much longer. One of us must win, and I don't intend to lose. But I need your help.
If it'll shut Khem up, I'm all for it.
You've always been so helpful. I believe I can replicate Tulak Hord's ritual without the help of the artifact. It won't be an exact copy, and whoever gets cast out will die. When the time comes, I'll need you to convince Khem to go quietly.
And why exactly should I help you, and not him?
Because I can offer you knowledge and power. Khem is just a grunt.
Ababarna habens, glaubena, ni in usakwai, usiterens apipao. In pamalhap fralet forte fuima, elaisos kaskaf tais.